Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today's film is Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. I was a big fan of the animated series, and I really like, especially the beginning seasons are just amazing. And I think this is even better because it takes the aspect ratio for the TV show. I think it's like 4:3 or, average like kind of TV. And this is a theatrical widescreen, which is just beautiful. I think the visuals are so well constructed and they're amazing compositions visually. It's just like very striking, and I don't think there's a Batman movie that's striking with the Art Deco style and kind of written like an old Hollywood film. It's just amazing, and they used a lot of the Fleischer style from the Superman cartoons that influenced the animated series and obviously influenced this as well. And just how great that style and the Art Deco thing works with Batman. And I know there was that rumor a couple years back that Orson Welles attempted to do a Batman movie, which apparently is completely false. But you could almost say that about this film because this film was really influenced by Citizen Kane, and especially the flashbacks. And the flashbacks in this film really tell the story very well and set the mood and the tone, because when they go back, the score is so haunting, and it's like the past really haunts these characters' lives and haunting the plot and haunting like everything that's going on. It's like they're so important to how everything came together and how he even became Batman. I mean, this is almost like a much less cluttered Batman Begins. Storytelling just so clear, and how the Joker doesn't show up till like 35 minutes in, but it's so organic how he's in the film and it makes sense and everything. It's not as much of a turning point in his life. He was just like involved, but the major characters, it's a big turning point. I mean, it changes Batman's life, it changes his former fiance's life, and he's almost condemned by his past. And you see that like there's a scene where he's like pleading with his parents' tombstone. I mean, he's like condemned to be Batman, and this really shapes that and justifies to him that yes, he definitely has to be this kind of hero. They use visuals so well. I mean, there's one scene in particular where he asks this girl Andrea to marry him, and it's right in front of like this little crack. Bats like come up and interrupt it, and then that actually becomes the Batcave. And it's like they use symbolism so well, like the World's Fair. And I love how they use the World's Fair because there hasn't been a World's Fair in a long ass time now. They use it like that's the past, and now it's just in ruins, and it had all these great ideas, how we had all this promise, but it all fell apart. This was actually one of the best reviewed Batman movies at the time. The only one that got better reviews, I think, was the first Tim Burton one. Honestly, like if you saw this on the theater, you're a lucky bastard, because I think it would be amazing to see on a film print. It just looks so dazzling and amazing, I mean, some of the scenes, like when he gets in that motorcycle fight and you see him kick the guy in slow-mo off the bike, it's just wow. There's a computer-generated sequence at the beginning of Gotham City, and how that happened was the production time on Batman the Animated Series, I guess they wanted to shrink that quite a bit, and they were thinking instead of painted backgrounds, doing computer-generated backgrounds. And thankfully they didn't do that, because it would have looked kind of shitty. But this was the test they used, and it was made for TV, but it was released in this film. Abe Vigoda is in this. Mark Hamill as the Joker is always great. I think he's like, when you talk about the people who've done great Jokers over the years, you can't leave Mark Hamill out. Kevin Conroy, the guy who does the voice of Batman in this and the animated series and plenty of other things. I think he does the best Batman and the best Bruce Wayne voice, because Bruce Wayne voice is great, and his Batman like spooky voice isn't as lame as some people. When they were making this was meant to be a direct-to-video sequel, and all the follow-ups to this are direct-to-video sequels. And Warner Brothers were like, we'd love this to be a theatrical film, so you have 8 months, good luck. And they're like, whoa, this is animated, it takes us a couple years to make this shit. And they're like, oh, I don't know, sorry man. They had to make this in 8 months. But Warner Brothers were like, but since we're rushing this and making you do this quicker, you have full creative control. So I think that really worked out in the end. And they basically treated it like 2 extra long episodes. And I think it really feels like, to put it in comic book terms, this feels like an annual, but a really fucking awesome annual. This is weird. At the end of the movie, during the credits, there's a song by Tia Carrera. That song is awful, but apparently she didn't sing that much, but she sang on this. I don't know. It's bad. It's like the worst part of the movie. I think they're like, hey, we'll get an Oscar nomination for this song. I feel like, because it was a shitty song at the end, it's the 90s, I think this is just a really great animated film, and people, not everyone's seen it, but it's one of the better Batman films, regardless of what you put higher or lower, whatever. I think this is really one of the better ones. The filmmaking language is so rich in it, and it's such a rich story, and it's just really well plotted out and put together. You know, if you're a Batman fan or a comic book fan, this is a great film to see. And it's only 76 minutes, so... Alright, so if you have seen Batman Mask of the Phantasm and like to talk about it, comment below, and subscribe if you would like to. So... That's happened to another film as well. That happened to the Doug movie. It was supposed to be straight to video, and then they're like, hey, it's a feature. And like, wait, what? Oh, shit. This one worked out. The Doug movie, I don't hear many people talk about that one.